video, I wanted to talk a little bit about container play. So that is a really foundational skill for little ones. And then this video is going to be tailored towards younger infants. So I'm going to be using Fruit Loops. So anything that your child is already safely managing, whether that's a cereal already or things like blueberries or little pieces of food, or maybe if they're not there yet in terms of their swallowing ability and their ability to safely manage food, you might want to do little meltable yogurt bites or anything that you're already using that you know is safe for them to put in their mouth. That's what I would start with for container play. For older kiddos that maybe don't mouth objects that much and you're not really concerned about that, you can use things like uncooked beans and rice and things like that. And it'll give them also a sensory aspect where they can dig their hands in and scoop and stuff like that. But for little ones, if we're trying to target kind of some skills like helping them strengthening their fine motor skills, as well as their upper body, and also their visual motor integration. So learning how to move their hands in a way that works for them, how to manipulate objects, how to kind of grade their force. Starting with container play can be a really great thing. So I just have a big bowl. I'm going to put my Fruit Loops in. So for a little one, I might just start with a measuring cup and kind of show them. You want to do a lot of imitation. So whatever you want them to do, just having you do it first. And just scooping and pouring, scooping and pouring. That is going to give them a sense of what it feels like, how much to grade their pressure. It's also going to activate their little muscles, even though it's so light. Because for a baby, this is enough to feel something in their muscles. So I would do something like that. For a more advanced skill is maybe trying to scoop, or you help them scoop, and then trying to get them to pour it into something else. Maybe pouring it back. This is really going to help with hand-eye coordination. So just pouring back and forth, pouring in there, scooping with a cup. Another great place to do this where you won't have to worry about any choking hazards or anything like that is just in bath time. So when they're already in the bath, bringing a plastic cup or some measuring tools and just having them scoop the water can be a lot of fun because most kids enjoy bath time. You can sustain their attention for a little longer there. So this can be a good cue. So scooping up water, pouring it back in. It's going to be both strengthening and help them kind of refine the way they're moving their hands together in accordance with what they're seeing with their eyes. So you also want to kind of help them visually attend to what they're doing so that it's not just kind of haphazard. So you want to, provide sound cues and visual cues, a lot of imitation, a lot of you doing it first. So those are some strategies that you can use for the really little ones. Another thing that you can do with these things like Fruit Loops or little Cheerios that your kid is already safely eating, if you'll notice, a lot of kiddos will use kind of what we call a raking gesture. So that's kind of like this. Sometimes they'll start to close in on the first two fingers, but a lot of times if you're presented with the option of a lot of food, you're gonna go for more than that. So this is also a lot about product placement and kind of what you're presenting to them at any moment. So if you're really trying to hone in on this skill, the fine motor skill, the pincer grasp we call it, which is gonna help with self-feeding, maybe presenting one Cheerio at a time. And you can either encourage them to bring it to their mouth, you can have them put it in here. A lot of repetition you're gonna wanna do, so maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, and then for the fifth one, you're gonna put that in front of the child, and hopefully they're gonna follow your lead and try and put this in. So those are just a few strategies that you can work on for really little ones, 11 months, 12 months old, or older than that. You can do a lot of different things with that as well. So including just having it be a sensory experience. If you're okay with the child just kind of digging their hands in there and stuff like that, that's a great sensory experience for them. And the great thing about this is then you can always reuse it. You can have a little baggie that you set aside that's mostly for play if you're reusing it quite often. And then just switching out every once in a while. if you are kind of incorporating it to mealtime, which is kind of the most appropriate way, is to, if you're going to be working with Fruit Loops, maybe just do it during a mealtime, before or after like they've actually eaten, trying to incorporate some of these skills. And then they can just go ahead and eat them too. And kind of in our natural environment, the natural context that we acquire skills is kind of the easiest for kids to grasp. So incorporating this, like I said, into feeding or the bath time where we're doing scooping and we're doing like container play this way, can be a really nice way to kind of embed that into a natural routine. So I hope that's helpful for some ideas if you're working on upper body strengthening, or if you're working on really refining your child's ability to pour things in based on what they're seeing with their eyes. All right, thank you.